The ass wiper. What am I supposed to say when a man says, "I like your technique," after I wiped his ass? Is that a compliment? Should I rejoice? I wonder about these things when the Disability Day program, where I work as an instructor, has such a hard time hiring and keeping men willing and able to wipe men's asses that it press gangs me into helping at what we call hygiene 5 days a week, 2 hours a day. What am I supposed to say when an attendant and I arrive at the same time to help a client waiting in a wheelchair outside of a restroom? And I ask, "Who did you rather help you?" And the client points at me. Why me? Am I a better ass wiper than the other guy? Do I give bottom service? I wonder about these things as a client laughs while I wheel him into the restroom and close the door. What am I supposed to say when I transfer a man from the toilet to his wheelchair and buckle his seatbelt and he asks, "Were you an attendant when you first started working here?" What I want to say is, sometimes it feels like I've worked 20 years before the ass. But he wouldn't understand my joke on Richard Henry Dana Jr.'s memoir, 2 Years Before the Mast. Instead, I say, I was a classroom aide when I started, but I did attendant work then. What I didn't say was, I was later promoted to manage the small business center, but now I'm back to helping men do their business. What am I supposed to say when a workshop presenter asks my colleagues and me, "Tell us how long you worked at this agency"? And I hesitate before answering, only to hear my colleagues gasp, and I can hear them think, "My God, that man has wiped assholes longer than I've been alive." Perhaps I stayed too long. Perhaps I can't leave. I've always joked with myself that I didn't want to be wiping assholes for a living when I'm at the age when someone should be wiping my hole. What am I supposed to say when a guy on a changing table, his diaper filled with crap, says, "I'm sorry, I know you don't like to do this"? I wonder about this sometime. When did I ever signal that I hated changing men's diapers and wiping their holes? Assholes don't lie. Those nerves around the sphincter can tell if the gloved hand wiping them is harsh or sloppy, perfunctory or missed the whole distant. The problem with this is that men, especially those unable to wipe themselves, may interpret an insensitive hand as hatred of them, hatred of their bodies, hatred of their disabilities and inabilities. "You don't want to touch me. You blame me for shitting myself. You hate me for my diapers, for my incontinence pull-ups, for my colostomy bag." Add to these anxieties societal taboos about assholes, and I end up with a guy crying on a changing table because he feels he let me down by not holding his shit until he got home. I resolved never again to allow my client feel shame about his asshole and its functions. I decided to love the asshole. Love the smooth asses and the hairy asses. Love the baggy asses and the tight asses. Love the dangling balls and the dingleberries. Love getting in the zone to such an extent that I don't smell shit when I'm wiping a man. Love the spontaneous erections that the client and I may have and learn how to finish wiping him despite the distractions so I can wipe the next hole. Love the way a man's face winces or his lips sigh when a wet wipe swipes his hole, which expands and winks at me. Sometimes I wonder if there's more to assholes than shit and wipes. My partner hasn't touched my hole, nor I his, and I don't know how long, and yet here I am, wiping other men's holes 5 days a week, 2 hours a day. I've wiped some holes so many times that my latex gloved and wet wipe swaddled fingers can tell assholes apart. It's like reading Braille. This man's a slit. This one's a starburst. You have a small hemorrhoid here on your right. You may want to have your doctor look at it. What am I supposed to say? I say, my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.